Welcome back yet again to the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mazel, joined by Kangas and Cubby for our final series of the day. I can't believe we've made it all the way this far in week number 3, rounding it out. It is Golden Guardians Challengers versus Team Liquid Honda first. And while it is a little bit of difference in goals and I guess presence for both these teams, I still think we're about to get a slobber knocker, Kangas.
I mean, this is the last series of the day. I'm excited because Team Liquid Honda first, picked up a win against Team Liquid Honda Challenger yesterday. That was a huge moment for them as a team because they were heavy underdogs going into that. And now against Golden Guardians Challengers, I think that this is also going to offer a couple of cool avenues for them to approach the game, because if we're looking at win cons, TLF's biggest win con should be pretty enabled here in this matchup.
Exactly that, and we got to look at where we've come from today to get to this point as well, because we started off with a 2-0 from Dignitas Challengers over EG. Very dominant and clean victories there.
Weekend for DG.
It's actually incredible. Then we had a very back and forth, again, scrappy game 1 in our second series, TSM taking it that way, and then Immortals changing the game plan and coming out smashing in game 2. Now we have reached this final game here, Cubby.
I'm honestly looking forward to this one. I think it's Golden Guardians have really started to scale into this split. I think we're seeing good things out of a roster. I think that was well built by GG, not just in terms of how these pieces can fit together, but also a lot of the experience that we have. Like, Prismal is an experienced player, but he's in the second year of a role swap to support. Rosethorn, he's got a little bit more than a year under his belt. But besides that, it's all players that are either in their second year or the rookie and young. And I think these players have really been stepping up throughout the split. So excited to see if they can continue to do that today.
Let's see this roster come up here, Kangas, because I know we got to have a little bit of fun cheering on Young in the LCS, but man, It's been fun to watch this roster come together.
The rookie mid laner got thrown into the deep end early, but I think the coolest part about this roster is just the number of young players like Cubby had just highlighted right there.
Yeah.
We don't have like crazy, imports coming in that already have accomplished a bunch in their career. A lot of these guys, they are making their stamp here, starting off in either Academy or now the Challengers League, which I think adds another level of just kind of interest from the general North American audience in this squad, especially around a player like Young, who I think had a pretty standout performance, even though he, got kind of bodied in lane by JoJo in the LCS, but then if you go into some of their tape. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I know that Young's got a lot of hype because he did show up in the LCS stage. I think Array's been playing really well this split, too. I love his target selection of this fight, like moving towards the back of the fight, getting a lot of good autos down on the carries while they're able to take out the rest of Fear on the back half. Array, to me, is someone where I describe Array as being like Dignitas Spawn, except a year behind, a couple years behind where Spawn is in terms of what type of player he is. If there's an 80% fight, Array's going to win it for you. And I think that as Array continues to grow as a player, I want to see him take more risks. This guy does have good hands. And this was a great moment where Prismal was able to buy so much time, and Array, again, maximizing DPS in an 80% fight. No questions about whether or not he can do that there, right?
Exactly. I love to see that execution. Love to see the pop-up on the highlight reel. But as you say that, right, bringing up the Team Liquid Honda first lineup here, there is a bit of a difference in style when they're approaching this, Cubby.
So much like we were setting up TSM versus IMT, TL first, they very much play towards the top side of the map in Surdy. And Surdy, he went ballistic yesterday in the Civil War. He beat Bradley in both of those lanes soundly. And Surdy, coming into today, guys, this is a provisional player, right? He's on a provisional roster. He was someone that we felt like was a very strong individual on EG last year, but wasn't as consistent. He's been more consistent on this provisional team. Guys, he is second in top lane goal differential at 15 as a provisional team, right? At TLF, they have a losing record, but he's been crushing lanes, and they're playing through the top side as him and City have been working together to capitalize off of Surdy's good laning early to turn it into kills, turn it into dives, and turn it into a Surdy snowball.
It's not just in laning phase too. Like, this clip, I think, highlights it also. Like, Surdy and City throughout the entire game are playing around each other incredibly well. And I actually had a chance to chat a little bit with Surdy going into the match today, and he said that a lot of it is due to the bot lane starting to find some synergy together. Mia and Rovex are getting on the same page of how they want to play the game, and Rovex is also getting comfortable leaving Mia alone, saying, all right, hang out bot side by yourself for a little bit, play safe, and I'm going to go impact the rest of the map, enabling City to play even more aggressively. They've pulled out things like the Karthus, things like the Kindred jungle. City can then try and power farm, scale up into the late game, and then be that secondary threat alongside Zerdy, and it's working for TLF. I think it's a cool, unique style that they're finally starting to come into, because this is a very young team that is now, I think, just getting their sea legs. Yeah,
and I think that's the most interesting aspect going into this is that clash of styles, but especially how it revolves around Rose-Torn and City Witty. But I do believe we are ready to get into draft for our final series. So guys, let's have some fun with it. Take it away.
Thank you, Mazel. The final series of the day here, Cubby. Golden Guardians Challengers versus Team Liquid first. And again, speaking of favorites coming into this one, Golden Guardians, we do have ranked a little bit higher. I mean, you can even just look at where they currently stand. But I think Team Liquid first yesterday showed us that you can't underestimate them all the time. They will surprise us with some of their performances.
It's actually funny. So after Golden Guardians win yesterday, I actually saw Prismal and Young. And we got some food, and they were like, oh, TLF like won a game? Oh, was it Surdy? It was like, it's not, they know how good Surdy is as well. And it's pretty funny, because as we dive into this game, Summit Surdy has been blinding R1, R2, no care in the world, has been that Fiora, and that's the first ban from Golden Guardians. So paying some respect towards Surdy and how well he's been playing so far this season.
And keep in mind that Concept is notoriously a weak side top laner for Golden Guardians. They like to play more through Young, through Array. Rose-Thorn is often playing through that half of the map as opposed to Concept. It matches the meta. It also matches the strengths of this roster. So if you're looking at a matchup that should favor Surdy, I actually think that Golden Guardians Challengers is one of the best teams that they could actually go up against. I kind of hinted at that earlier, because if you're going to play through topside, you kind of want to play into somebody like Concept, because you assume that he won't be getting a lot of resources anyway, so you could probably get that snowball rolling for Surdy.
Yeah, but again, it's what do you sacrifice on the other side of the map? And at the moment, we do have a lot of bans flying towards both the top and the bot side as we set up from each of these teams. I think it's also interesting to point out, so when it comes to TL first, they have played now, so far it's 11 games, or 11 games so far. The vast majority of these games have been when they are on red side. And so they've liked red side a lot of their drafts. They are actually 1-9 on red side. This will be their 11th game on this side, but is the preference that TL First likes to have because they like to use counter pick. A lot of times, Surdy's blinding so the bot lane can counter, but now that a couple of his blinds are off the board, I'm really curious to see if they give Surdy that counter to try and drive home that lead on the top side.
It gives them a more flexible draft because they can pivot, right? They can pivot to giving Surdy the counter pick. Actually, they play 12 games also. They will always be ending on an even number.
Well,
so, I mean,
it's 11 on blue side. This is the 11th game on red side.
Oh, the 11th on red side.
They're 2-0 on blue side, unironically.
Interesting. That's kind of funny to see. So I want to touch on the bans because it wasn't just Surdy's blind pick champs. It was also the Karthus that was banned away. So City Witty's going back to the Kindred. Another one of those junglers that he was able to pilot and power farm on. Oh, this would be interesting if we go for a Lulu, because I wouldn't actually be convinced that this is support. I think that this could even be a mid lane Lulu for Aspect.
I think it's going to be support this time around, Kangas.
All right, you want to place a bet on it?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident about this, even with TLF.
All right, what's your bet?
What am I betting? I don't know. What do you want to bet?
We got to decide now. How about this? If it's mid lane, then you have to verbally say on stream so I can clip it, Deserix is more bald than Kangas.
Yeah, I have no loss out of this. So yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right.
I don't know, what's happening if I lose the bet.
No, nothing's going to happen. This is just a win-win scenario for us, all right? This is how we work together as a team.
I like this. This is good.
Now, I will say, Lulu is kind of a soft counter to Nami, because you can shield at least the damage. And Ashe does have poke. It is something that you can use to kind of go even in the lane. I am curious to see if Mia is going to use the Imperial Mandate poke Ashe that we saw from her yesterday. I think that actually did really help TL play towards that top side. And curiously enough, Kangas, we have TL first getting rid of two of the ranged mid laners from Young, who has been mostly playing melee mids. So I'm really wondering what TLF is cooking up here to potentially go up against Young. They wanted to pick like Akali. I don't think Akali Silas like looks great into a Kindred comp, but they really wanted to pick something like that.
It's looking really rough for the mid Lulu because they're probably going to need to lock in a mid laner here if they are going for the counter pick for Surdy. Oh, wait a minute. They go for Surdy's pick instead. The blind Cassante. Hear me out. It could still happen.
What is Concept playing into this Cassante? I gotta say, Concept's half his games have been on the Cassante so far. Maybe we see the Olaf, but a lot of the Cassante picks are banned. And it looks like we have a blind Kassadin again coming out of Young and Golden Guardians. They've used this core quite a bit.
Kassadin is a terror in the late game.
Narbio
struggles to come online early on. It looks like the Olaf hover here. Concept's champ pool has been one of the coolest things to watch about him, at least from last year. Played a lot of funny things like the Mundo, like the Singed. He's going for the Scion. Okay, that's something. Some interesting in that top lane as he is going to be playing that weak side yet again.
So I got to say, TLF, they do need magic damage here, so that's part of why blinding Kassadin was okay. Cassio is something where Kassadin jumps in, so you do have some counterplay with the ground, and it is a shorter range composition besides the Lucianami, so I don't mind the Cassiopeia here for Aspect, as he's going to be reaching deep into his champ pool as well. We've mostly seen supportive champions out of Aspect. I think that historically Aspect's been best when he's giving up resources. But the Cassio is definitely something that's very resource intensive. And I want to see if TLF's going to be able to adapt and attack this Kassadin. Because Kindred Cassiopeia can attack Kassadin, especially pre-6. So wondering if we see any change of strategy here from TLF.
And unfortunately, it is not the Lulu mid lane. I thought that we were going back to the 2021 summer meta. But it is not meant to be. I do like this though because you said it yourself, they need AP damage, but also you're going to be going into two heavy tanks in the Sejuani and the Scion, so that DPS is something that Cassiopeia will bring, which is pretty needed right now on Team Liquid First's side. But I think that there's maybe not a timer. I wanted to say there's a timer that Team Liquid First are operating on because of the Kassadin and just inherently what this champion does. But there are some decent options for the side of TL First. Things like the Kindred, if you're able to farm up and get enough stacks, you're feeling pretty good going into that mid game at least.
I think they have ways to deal with Kassadin. You have the Polymorph on Rovex. The Kindred ult keeps everyone alive. Now Kassadin can stack up his ult and then have a big one after the Lamster Sight pops. But Cassante, I think Cassante, Lulu, Ashe, it doesn't make life easy for Kassadin. So we will see if they can actually make sure that this pick gets set behind enough where it's going to be in favor of TLF, because Kindred outscales the Sejuani heavily. Kindred's going to be very valuable this game. So I think a lot of eyes should be on City. See if he can snowball Surdy ahead, and if City can get himself ahead on this Kindred.
Well, we're into game number 1 of this best of 2 series, Golden Guardians Challengers versus Team Liquid First. Let us know in chat. Spam GGC or TLF, depending on who you're rooting for, who you believe will take this win. As of right now, I think no surprise, the Challengers team is in favored here. Team Liquid First, despite picking up a win yesterday against Team Liquid Challenger, they are still considered underdogs in this matchup, as they are only 3-9 so far.
Oh, this is good.
Win on the red side, but a good early start. Yeah, they're trading heavily against Prismal here. That's an early heal out of Prismal.
Well played from TLF and Mia. Mia is an Ashe player. Again, we're curious about what kind of build Mia goes, but with that lethal tempo, that's telling me it's not going to be the Imperial Mandate build, and instead going to be on hit. So likely a Bork Rageblade Shield Bow, something like that. I do like the... I'm curious, because with the IE item changes too, I actually don't mind IE on Ashe, at least later. So very curious what Mia decides to go for.
And against Concept Rosethorn here, Scion Sejuani, I think the on-hit makes sense. Extra damage against this beefy front line. And Mia, she got a quadra kill on the support Ashe earlier. She tweeted about it, saying, imagine if I could play the Samiras or the things that I'm pulling out in solo queue. And you know what? At least on-hit Ashe, it's a start. It's further along that line.
All right, worth noting here that Rosethorn did go for the reverse clear. Actually, is spotted by Mia. Really good timer here by Mia and TLF. nice understanding. We'll see if Rosethorn continues to commit to the play. As you can see, Mia Rovex a little bit cautious now as they're going to approach this wave.
It's tough because they don't have a ward to place down to check the Tribush, so Rosethorn could stick around and try and punish them because their wave is in a rough spot. But now they see Rosethorn up by the Raptors. This gives them a lot of information bot lane.
And we'll see what City wants to do, as City does have that red buff. City's spotted as well. Thanks to our observers, giving us a lot of info about what the teams are working with here. And you can see a little bit of a game of chicken being played by our two junglers here, as the Rosethorn realizes that City's going for his camps and going to the top side. He's going to go back bot. That ward will die. Will Mia fire off another hawk shot?
Okay, they don't have a reason to suspect that Rosethorn is here.
Yeah.
This is beautiful passing from Rosethorn. Nicely done with the double back. Mia and Rovex saying, wait a minute. We just saw you on the Raptors pathing top. Why are you here? First blood to Array and another to Rosethorn.
Really, really nice play from Rosethorn, as, again, thanks to our observers playing kind of with our heads and the knowledge that these teams were working with. As we saw the Sejuani being tracked again, TLF thought that Sej was going top, that City was going to be fighting Sejuani, exactly what TLF wants to do with his comp, but no, Rosethorn on the Sejuani. He bails out his bot lane heavily, understanding that resources on his laners much better than resources on himself, playing towards the win con of GG, and Ray's ahead early.
And that's one of those moments where I don't even think that you can go back, check the tape, if you're TLF after this game saying, what did we do wrong? Maybe the only thing is drop the ward at the Raptors like a couple pixels further so that you see Rosethorn double back. But you're not really thinking about that in the moment when you drop that down. Oh, and that's so tough.
And like Cassio, you have to leave lane and come back to that, so then you lose out time where you're harassing the Kassadin too. So, I mean, again, can't really blame them as we get a replay.
It's just one tiny little line.
Yeah, you can see City spotted. Rosethorn walks past that ward, and then when they see City cross, Rosethorn's like, wait a minute, I'm going to give him the do-si-do, and, you know, go give a nice little gift here to my bot lane. As, again, Rosethorn.
That one tiny little path. Like, it's
not spotted.
So close.
So, if you're a mid laner, you know, take note where you place your wards. That matters. And that info for the bot lane, I mean, they're winning here. It's winning level, but when Sejuani comes, I mean, this play is over.
The timing of it, too, if you look at the minimap, City is invading while this is happening. So he expected Rosethorn to be up there, too, thinking, oh, I can take the 1v1. My top lane's pushed in. My mid lane's got Prio. I'll have backup. And, yeah, unfortunate timing there. As, it looks like Rosethorn was even hanging around for a potential second gank, but thanks as we get back to live.
Now, of course, Rosethorn needs to get things done early as this Sejuani into the comp that TLF has. Again, City on this Kindred, if given marks and farm, especially after the changes that were made to Kindred, or I should say some of the items around Kindred. Black Cleaver, even stronger now. That's really good in Kindred's kit. And also, a Wit's End could be a valuable pickup here for City in the back half. So I'm expecting a second item Cleaver into a Wit's End. That or PD, most likely being the options here.
Hawkshot not spotting Rosethorn, but they spotted the Gromp was up. I don't know if that's enough information for them to know that Rosethorn's on the top half of the map. City's hanging around bot, but use the sweeper in mid lane instead of to look at a gank bot lane, because Array and Prismal are actually pushed in. Maybe liked to go help out bot side, but as the Kindred got the first stack in the top scuttle, sometimes you are comfortable to just farm it up. Play a little slow.
We'll see Young. Just playing mid lane, a bit aggressive here. Of course, Kassadin did see some changes on the B patch, but still does the same thing, just not nearly as strong as early. Doesn't have as many E's, which they kind of took the Emax away, which was, I think, very... You can still do it, but you don't get nearly as much out of it. It's very healthy for Kassadin. Still a problem champion later.
I mean, yeah, trying to shut him down early feels great. I'm surprised Surdy didn't look to do that. They saw that Rosethorn was clearing out the Scuttle Crab, and Surdy was close enough that I thought if he just pops Ghost and just runs at him, maybe they find something. City was nearby too, but so far a slow game for TLF. They're down 1,000 gold. If we can actually take a look at the gold graph right now from the observers, or at least the gold count here. I mean, obviously Array got the first blood. Let's see how far ahead. 400 ahead. And a 300 gold lead for Rosethorn. So it seems like TLF are just trying to equalize right now. Don't let this get out of control.
Again, if City keeps on farming, it gets some stacks, it's good. I think my big concern for TLF comes around this first Herald play. And I am curious how GG is going to play this out because, Kassadin, Young, you aren't the strongest at first Herald. And if Cassio is able to machine gun down some targets, that could be very big for the side of TLF. But with that said, it is a Sejuani comp. And this Herald fight, when you have Sejuani Scion, is going to be very strong for the side of Golden Guardians. So I think TLF are, you can already kind of see them looking, posturing to clear out this Dragon where they have more control over the bot side and try and trade this for the Herald.
Herald started by Rosethorn on the minimap, we can tell, and with the bot lane roaming up here, seems like you're right on the money here, Cubby. The teams will be happy to trade objectives against each other, which means that Golden Guardians are going for more gold early on. TLF hoping to stack up these objectives. And I'm wondering if they just drop this into Young right away, try and get gold into the Kassadin, or if they instead focus on the Lucian for the early stage of the game, because I can see an argument for either.
I like how you already rule out top lane. That was my favorite part about that, that chain of logic. No, ignore the tanks. We're gonna let them bash each other.
No, not the tanks. Concept. This is Golden Guardians coming. They're not dropping Herald topside. As much as I love Concept, he is oftentimes not getting the attention, as he's gotta maybe needs some help here. So already is trying his best. Ooh. Concept still has the ult, actually. It looked like he was unstoppable. I saw that above his head for a second there, but he still has his ult on the screen, so I don't know what happened with that interaction.
Probably just, Surdy bashing into him.
It's probably Surdy's unstoppable.
Oh, heads up. Sejuani's bot.
Oh, whiffs the ultimate, though. Mia flashes away. The Lamb's Respite saves Rovex. Wild Growth plus Lamb's Respite means it's very hard for Golden Guardians to actually get the final kill, and Rosethorn missing the Glacial Prison was crucial. TLF's bot lane surviving.
Mia able to get out of that with the flash, as surprise Rosethorn not sticking around to drop the Herald. I think they were hoping to get the first plate off before they maybe throw Herald bot. I think that was the game plan, Kangas, so we can already see Golden Guardians trying to get this Herald into array, into this Lucian, and get to that mid-game spike for the bot lane a little bit earlier than what we see.
He's going for a back now, trying to stay alive. I think that she put a target on her back. I mean, yeah, you survive. Without flash, without barrier. There always is the threat of the repeat gank. Meanwhile, City sees a mark top lane, or top half of the jungle. Port side, as it were. And we're bringing it back.
I know. I was laughing at your sea legs reference, I will say.
I'm happy I could bring that
I caught that. I appreciate TLF trying to get City that mark, but I think it's just going to be the crab, as Aspect needs to return to the mid lane. City will be okay with that. Again, he continues to try and power farm his way through the jungle. And he will be very powerful this game. Again, Kraken Slayer is going to be deadly for this Kindred, as Mia...
Uh-oh. Pulling not available, and also low mana for Array, but Mia and Rovex are taking a lot of damage here underneath their turret. They need to back. Golden Guardians know that, and they want that final plate there. It's barely any health on that third one.
I will say Rosethorn isn't bot right now to throw that down the Herald as he was trying to defend the mark, and City's actually making his way around. This is getting interesting.
If that lands,
it's to the left. But they're looking.
To the left,
City can win this.
Prismal's going to have to land this bubble. Jump forward. Colin is now off cooldown, so City has to back off.
Well played. Well done. I really like what Array did there, right? Just the E plus the R. Take the health bar away from City and buy some space. As they do at least delay the reset. It still has 2 plates, and things going the way of Golden Guardians. It's a 1.5k gold lead early. I gotta say, for TLF, I am curious what their game plan is. As so far, top, not very volatile. Mid, it's been even, as Cassio hasn't, machine gunned down anyone. And bot lane, it's been Golden Guardians winning out. So I want to see what first move TLF tries to make. I think time is their friend, given the Kindred, but they have to start getting gold somewhere and trying to fight and skirmish at the windows that they can, or else GG will just stack up gold against them, and it'll be tough to play into.
Second dragon in 1 minute and 20 seconds here. I imagine that is still the focus for TLF. Try and stack up these dragons, get towards that soul. But here's the win condition for Golden Guardians. The gold lead, dropping down the Herald. They commit onto Rovex. Wild Growth barely saves his life.
I appreciate the Wait Wild growth, trying to get out without burning it, as Mia trades back a few autos, but the damage is done. The plates go down, and Array continues to stack up gold.
Mia has the enchanted crystal arrow, though. The city's actually backing. Dragon's up in 45. They have time. They can go for one more reset here, but they'll see the back completed, or do they stop it? They stop it.
It's Prismal, man. Of course he's going to go fish and try and stop it.
Well, I was worried maybe let the back go off. You know that Rovek's back. You could try and dive Mia, who's all alone without flash still, but not going to be the play.
Being a dive is mid.
Yeah. No Glacial Prison. Okay,
Nice.
Petrifying Gaze dodged by Young. Really well done there as they go back in under turret. Rosethorn taken means a kill onto Aspect.
That was well played by Aspect, but I think that if he was able to maybe flash out of the stun or flash away, Young didn't have the range, would have had to commit his life to get the kill. Not the case. Instead, Array.
Oh,
Okay.
that was disgusting. Hits everything from the Colleen. Gale Force in, gets the double auto and the Q, and that's enough. Yeah, Rovex is dead.
This map has been broken. It's going to be the second dragon being picked up by TLF, but look at all the gold on the side of Golden Guardians, not to mention the scaling of Kassadin. And they're going to even try and contest this. Rosethorn, he can sneak on in. It was bases from TLF, so everyone's back in base. It's just a 1v1 amongst the junglers.
There's no one else coming in, though. Does City know that? Is City
He's got to
aware?
flip it. I'm okay with him flipping this. Yeah.
All right, who gets the smite fight? Oh, Rosethorn jumps in. And
Nice.
City with the smite secure. That is much needed for TLF's
Yeah.
chances in this game.
That's a flip I'm okay with. This game's getting a little bit out of control for TLF. Just make sure you keep on stacking up the dragons and give yourselves that backdoor win con. And City play that really well, waiting for the Kindred mark to finally execute with the smite, making sure that Rosethorn had a really tough smite to try and fight him. Well done.
Ooh, Aspect getting jumped on by Array right there. Petrifying Gaze just coming off cooldown here. Curious how many stacks City actually has right now as he's walking up to maybe contest the Herald. No, this is dangerous, City. Dangerous fight, has to use it.
That's it. I mean, that's Herald fight being done. That's a late arrow.
Ooh, wait a minute, maybe not.
Oh, the flash. Love it.
The commitment from Aspect, but okay. Onslaught from Concept.
Hold on, hold on.
From long range.
No, Surdy can come. Young does not have TP. This is good for TLF. They should push this fight. Surdy should try and fish.
Oh, Mia's walking up. Mia and Rovex are ready for it. Surdy's dancing around, but City's just on the Herald, so Young will get some free time bot lane to push in on this turret. Rosethorn and Prismal are walking back up. They don't have
This is
DPS.
risky.
How are they going to try and fight this? I guess they go for the smite steal, but now they have to walk off. Mia's here. Rosethorn jumps onto Mia. Mia's taking a lot of damage. The bubble misses. Surdy's in. Mia flashed over the wall. And the smite steal from Rosethorn even picks it up. Concept cleans up one. Concept will look for another as Prismal actually secures it. Surdy and City, the last member's up, and Array's back in. The Lucian for the damage. Young walks up too. It's disaster for TLF.
Young went all the way across the map to try and join Array, died and came back. And what a wild play coming out of TLF. But they lose out. They lose the Rift Herald. They're down 5k gold. They're going to be down a mid-outer. A part of me was kind of in for the flip because, again, I think this game's really tough for them to navigate from here. But also, it went pretty south on him.
Come on, Array. You know, give him a chance. He just got in the lane. Yeah, it's getting out of control.
Cassio, of course, very strong into the top side of the map for GG. Not so much into the Lucian Nami. But, again, so Mia flashes into the team, and it's a good polymorph to save her for a little bit. But when Scion Q gets canceled like that, you get it right back. So the big smash comes in, and Concept is just a giant ball of stats that's out of control right now, given how far behind the bot lane is, given the focus that GG had on the bot side, and Surdy just can't be the difference maker. GG looks like they're cruising to a game 1 victory here, Kangas.
And that's some of those moments, some of those positionings, misplays that we've seen from Mia. She's hit Challenger in 5 rolls. Solo queue. Positioning's not as important, but that is a concern that we've had so far, is in the big fights, in those moments, getting picked off like that, pretty rough. And now TLF trying to come back here. Down 6,000 gold. Golden Guardians Challenger. They have a big lead. They have a lot of damage in Array right now, who has been playing this split so incredibly well. And I think is poised to carry this game too.
Yeah, City has not been given the time needed to scale. Props to Rosethorn again. I think that early bot gank made this game very difficult. As we do have actually a Kraken Slayer completed onto Mia. So we'll have double tank busting coming out of Ash Kindred. And City will be spotted there. TLF just trying to keep any control they can have. And okay, we have a look.
Hero lands, City's going forward. Immediate
Surdy's here.
Surdy jumps in as well. If they can get Prismal, this is big. Damage in. They got Nami. Nicely set up for Mia, hitting these Ash arrows.
Again, Surdy has chosen the group for this one. That will mean that bot inner falls in favor of Golden Guardians, but at least they make a play off the group. As yeah, that's the Demolish. Demolish coming out of concept on the Scion. Demolish is a high value point with Scion, you know. Scales off health.
0-2 as a tank.
Scales off health, you know.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, it's not only him. Young has 200 CS before 19 minutes, so that's on Kassadin.
That's actually insane.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
there are some
he was
concerns.
Left bot lane for
he was.
a long time there.
He was. I know, like, from talking with Young, too. I mean, like, the LCS days is like, yeah, I learned a lot. But also, I have nothing to be scared of now. And I think it's really important for a rookie, right? Like, there's no greater test that you can face than going up against JoJo in a stage game. And so, Young...
In your first game.
Yeah, not that Young has ever been one to play with any fear. But the fact that, you know, Young recognizes that he really does have no fear, it's good. And we'll see what he can do with this... oh, God. Okay, he's already in there.
Yeah, Herald is down in the mid lane. That's pushing up. TLF have to be aware of that as City's in a 1v2. Oh!
My goodness.
Lancer Spike can even go down, and Golden Guardians Challengers just destroying this fight. Surdy will teleport to safety, and Golden Guardians Challengers get a 4-for-0, 4-for-1. They do lose Prismal. Herald charges mid, Dragon secured. This game is falling apart for TLF, and Golden Guardians are catching it as it falls.
And for GG, again, this is a team where they picked up their first 2-0 last week. These guys feel like they're scaling, they're getting together and vibing well. And I mean, this game has been, after that first great play from Rosethorn, it's been a pretty easy map for GG to play out. They've certainly made it look easy. And it's just been really good to see this roster that, you know, it has one rookie, a lot of second years, and the pieces around them, they're playing well as a team. They have an identity early in the season, right? It hasn't been the first time that we've seen the Lucian Nami or the Zeri Lulu comp surrounded by Sejuani and Melees. Been a comp that GG's been really liking and enjoying, and to see them consistently be able to execute it and get better at executing it throughout the season has been really good to see early.
And you can see TLF's approach. That was a very ambitious start on the Dragon, but when you're doing that against a Sejuani, a Scion, a Nami ult, like all these things that can push you off of the Dragon, it's so hard. And you know what their goal is. They're thinking, all right, our win con is getting these Dragons stacked, but Golden Guardians just ready to answer that play. Now they have all this space to work with. No vision for TLF topside. Aspect has to walk in blind and decides, nah, I don't think it's worth it. Okay. That's a lot of damage coming in from a fed Lucian and Nami. So TLF now 4v5. Playing with the idea of contesting the Baron. Do they see it? Okay, Prismal's disconnected, I guess.
Gets a kill, disconnects their game. He's back, you know?
Yep. Yeah, they don't need him, honestly, at this point in time.
I gotta stop City.
Down to 3,500. Young's over the wall if they can take Young down. City, Lambs Respite early. Array and everybody else are on top of him. Concept gets the first kill. And Array takes down City. Witty. Young cannot be stopped.
Young's playing well.
Aspect's actually doing a lot of damage. Never mind. Young might just die here. Shut down to Aspect as Surdy pulls the tank over the wall, but Array is the real threat here. If they can deal with Lucian, then TLF actually have something to play with here, and they do. They stop the Baron.
Aspect did burn his flash there, but that was really well played from the Cassiopeia. You can see some of the reason why you can play this in the Kassadin later in the game is the react flash away was very sound from Aspect, and TLF, they find something.
It's something that they needed. because they are still down in gold. They are still struggling in this game, but plays like that mean that there is signs of life. They have the ability to team fight, and this was in a 4v5, mind you, because Mia just gets popped from Fog of War. Array has so much burst damage, especially. Yeah, I mean, it was Prismal that got the kill credit, just a little bit on top, but it was Array doing the massive punch.
And watch how Aspect plays us out in the back half. I think that City does a nice job of buying time, but the big difference here, first off, Baron cancels Array's ult. That kind of stinks. But also, watch how Aspect plays us out. This is really nice. Again, this is where Aspect is fighting out, the top side of the map, able to find the two-man Petrifying Gaze. We're going to react flash the next ult from Cassidy. Nice. Very clean. Gets the Q in there too. And Aspect doing his best to make sure that they're able to at least fight back a little bit in this game. Really nice team fight from Aspect. Well played. And TLF at least gets something on the board and maybe some hope for the next game.
3-3 on the Cassiopeia.
Oh, look at Young. He's stacking them up.
Yeah, nobody from TLF sees him yet. Gotta be careful. Asher goes out onto Array. Instant cleanse. Now the re-engage comes through. Rovex is down. And everybody else is going out. Aspect and Surdy say, well, we tried. It was an attempt that was made. But Golden Guardians are right back onto the Baron. No jungler to look for a steal. Surdy just thinking maybe they'll chase me, you know? Maybe I'm enough of a thorn in their side.
Yeah, he's gonna have to cross the map.
Yeah.
That's the fun place to cross the map. Surdy feeling like a jungler right now, and Prismal. They're getting fishy out there, you know?
It's a rough one right now for Team Liquid first. A lot of the provisional teams have been struggling towards the bottom of the standings here, and Golden Guardians Challenger are on their way up. You know, they had a slower start to their season, but they have been ramping up. I'm happy that you highlighted that. They're coming together at the right time. Young wasn't even scrimming with the team for the first week because he was scrimming with LCS instead. He knew a week and a half ahead of time he was going to be playing LCS. Well, now in week 3, we're starting to see what this team looks like when they've played together, when they've actually scrimmed and practiced together for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is a roster, too, that a lot of people, you know, I mentioned, I think there were like 6 teams that were really competitive. I didn't include Golden Guardians in that list, but I think it's a roster, you know, they're trying to prove that, you know, they aren't top of the table with Dig and C9, but they are trying to prove that, you know, this might be a team that can fight with those rosters. And I think with the continued good play, as Array gets a first strike from downtown.
Yeah.
Plus 46, you know, it's the good stuff. But no, I think as we continue to see more out of GG, I continue to raise my hopes. I think there's a comp that, you know, fits their identity as a team really well from what we've seen these players have success with in the past, and they've proven on many occasions they can play it out well.
They're going for the push right now. 2 inhibitors are open. Now they have a 5v4 setup. They're engaging underneath the Nexus turrets, and there's not much that Team Liquid First can do to stop this. Golden Guardians, decisive in the mid-game onwards. Even winning out the bottom side. It started with Rose Thor's very unique gank at level 3, and it has snowballed from there. They never let up control. They never gave a chance to Team Liquid to come back into this game. And with a Baron-powered push here at the end, they will take game number 1.
Golden Guardians Challengers continue to put together a good week, as it was a 2-0 over TSM yesterday. Put a third win on the board. We have a 4-0 week potentially here for Golden Guardians.
This would feel good. I think that would be our third 4-0.
No, they split the Civil War. Oh, wait, no, that was last week.
No, yeah, no.
Golden Guardians,
week so
they're looking.
Far, I want to say that would be our third team to go 4-0. Because I know Dignitas just did, and I think that there was one more team. Cincinnati Fear, I believe.
They did?
Also going 4-0. So, wow, that would be a lot of undefeated weekends for a couple teams. We'll see if they have it in them or if Team Liquid First can pull off the comeback. We're going to send it to a short break before we are back with our halftime show right after this.
I'm Josh Joshi Howard, joined with the mid laner here for Immortals Challengers Balulu. For the younger players who are trying to go pro, for anybody who's just watching this for the first time, we're going to try and help you guys get a little bit better by getting into the mind of people who are way better than us. So this first clip that we have is from your debut game against Team Liquid Challengers. It's one of the first places where it felt like the game had equalized.
I know that this is a good area for us to fight because their AD is like bot lane. The AD is like bot lane, so we have a man advantage. And I know that Zoe is especially really good in skirmishes early game. So whatever happens, you just want to fight with Zoe, because if they use flash, ignite, cleanse, you can just pick it up, just like rush on them. We're saying that we're going back to our lanes, so like we're going bot, and then we see that APA is walking up a bit too close and he has no flash. So when we see this, I'm just calling Chad to just ult on this guy, and we committed on him and he died. We didn't really plan it, but depending on what the enemy does, you can always change your plan.
We were a little bit surprised about Wixie flashing over the wall. What were your thoughts and what were the communications like at the
I didn't really
beginning of
see
the play?
that one actually. Can we watch that again?
Yeah, he's over here on the wall and he just goes over.
Wait. I didn't see this one. Oh, it's kind of troll actually. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Sometimes when you're like strong calling something and everyone just wants to commit to the play, so I respect that. But yeah, it's definitely wrong.
This fight is where you guys go from pretty even to suddenly in the lead. Well, let's take a look at the actual clip itself and you can walk me through some of the things that you were thinking about during the fight.
Like now, we won this fight now.
Yeah.
Because like they overcommit everything for Chad and they couldn't kill him. I see a few flashes on the ground, so it's just go. We're just saying go. It's like this, not much thinking. We just go for it.
What are you thinking about in order to get yourself to stop here, not run forward, and potentially take an extra tower shot?
So he has more damage the longer you are from the target, and also not risking getting killed here.
Yeah.
So, and also I have a flash, so no matter what happens, I'll always be in range. I could even be more behind to have more damage here.
One of the things that I was most interested in looking at this one is you're teleporting in over here, and there's a decision point where you can choose to attack Shochi on the Tryndamere, or you can go and kill Perry's Maokai, and you choose to go kill Perry's Maokai. Why do you do that?
Because here, we know that Maokai has no flash here. We're perma-calling it that he has no flash. Tryndamere has his ult, so he can always buy time. I might not be able to kill him. He has Ghost, Flash, and his E to get away. So that just, in my mind, I'm just ignoring the Tryndamere and going for the Maokai here. Because he's dead. After he's dead, we're going to chase them down with all the team coming. So it's just a clear decision for me there.
Yeah.
And here they're all out of position. I can get the Maokai R, get a good angle on the R, and we just chase them down.
So the big decision you saw was like, it's not obvious if you guys can kill Tryndamere, but you're guaranteed to kill on Perry.
Yeah, exactly. We're already won this fight, by the way. Like, this fight is already won. Like, the point I pressed this TP, and ADD is flanking from top side, there's just no way they're getting out of here. Now we just have to think, how can we kill the most amount of people here?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like not helping my team here. I'm just going for Perry. And I know that my team will handle these other guys without even looking. So we just gotta like round them out like sheep and just try to get him as much as possible.
What noise do sheep make in Swedish and Turkish?
In Swedish, it's bad.
Bad. What sound does the rooster make?
So in Swedish, it's we say kuckeliku, klockan är sju. Kuckeliku is the sound.
Yeah.
The time is, and then klockan är sju, the time is 7. So like,
Kuckeliku.
and you say, so you say in the morning and it's like, time is 7, wake up. Okay, so we didn't start off the season very good. We're 2-7 now, I think. Bottom 12. But I have confidence in the team. We're improving very quickly. So keep cheering for us. We'll make it to the top again. So keep watching us, guys.